Good morning, good morning, good morning. Live and shine, live and rise. It is 10 o'clock Eastern Time, and we are about to go live inside the Magnum Cafe. Let me grab some water quick. And today is a really great day. So let me make sure that everybody is online and that everything is running. And I will hit go right now. Great. And we are absolutely live, up and running. And I want to make a couple of quick check-ins here. There we go. And the cafe is live. So welcome everybody. I just have to I forgot one important thing, was to open the rooms in Zoom so that, small technicality, people can jump in with us and join the room live. So there are so many choices and so many things that I need to remember. I should really build a list. So let me make sure that everybody is up and running. Okie dokie. And we are live in 2 Zoom rooms today, which is super nice. And I want to get started real quickly with a quick show and tell. And I will tell you very quickly about the dumbest thing that I tried right out of school. So barely out of school. I mean, internet still ran on 9,600 BPS, recently upgraded from 2,400 and 4,800. And I told people that I was going to build an online travel agency. And I decided I was going to really tell people that the truth, that one day people are going to book their own flights and their own hotels from a screen, no agents, no phone call. And they looked at me like I lost my mind. And obviously that business failed marvelously, but it took me really years and years to understand why I was not wrong, because I was just early, and online travel actually went on to swallow the whole industry, right? I just showed up before the world was ready to catch up. And early, when you're living it, feels no different than being wrong. Apologies. So when Tony Robbins made a prediction 10 years ago and it did not come true, I did not laugh. I just knew that same feeling in my bones. So Tony actually went on record and he said that self-driving trucks were about to put 8 million Americans out of work. Truck drivers, delivery drivers, anyone who drove for a living. And he laid out the cold mathematics, the way a business owner sees it, right? A human drives 8 hours, then he's tired and his healthcare costs more every year. A robot truck runs around the clock. It never gets tired. It never causes the wrecks that drive up insurance, and you can write it off as an asset, and so on and so on. So he asked, why would I ever hire a person again? So here's the honest part about it, actually. 10 years later, right, it did not happen. Those drivers still have their jobs, about 3.5 million of them, and the industry is short by tens of thousands of drivers. The leader in self-driving trucks will have about 200 of them on the road by the end of this year. 200, that's it, against 3.5 million drivers. So was Tony wrong? No, he was just early. Same as my first business idea was early. He just missed the timing, but he never missed the direction. So whilst everyone kept watching the highway, the wave changed lanes, and it did not come for the truck. It came for the desk. It came for your desk. The trading floors emptied first, then the analysts, then the associates, then the back office. The people who were sure they were safe because they had the degree and the titles. So Elon has a name for what is here right now. He calls it the supersonic tsunami. Not a disruption, not a cycle, a civilizational waterline that's rising faster than any industry has ever adapted to. And the ones that it was built to replace are not the uneducated. They are the credentialed, the experienced, the people who have spent decades building the thing that was supposed to be hard to copy. So if you look around the room around you, every one of us has built something real. Every one of us is who this wave was built to swallow. Because you see, there is this trinket economy out there in AI, and they will sell you 1,000 ways to keep up. But hear me out on this one. Content without identity is really just sophisticated, automated begging. So the investors we know have a sharper word for it. They will call it your moat. And you'll walk into a presentation and they'll say, Henrik, tell me about your moat. So picture what a moat actually is. It's a trench of cold water around a castle, basically dug to keep the world out. And that is not what protects you. That is not what any of us came here to build. There is a warmer word for that same thing and a truer one, and we call it your signature. Because your signature move is not a tagline. It's not a brand voice document. It's not a prompt you feed to an LLM model, right? It's the residue of everything that you have lived. Every scar, every win, every hard-won way of seeing that no one else on earth has arrived at in the same way. So if you think about what a signature is, right, and I'm not talking about the Biden auto pen signature, right, but you just think about your painting, your brushstroke. Someone can copy that, but they can never copy the hand that made it. A signature is the one mark that the world accepts as proof that this and only this came from you. It cannot be forged because it's not a technique. And here's what most investors miss when they talk about your moat. Your signature does not keep people out the way a moat does. It draws the right ones in. It is not a wall, it is a magnet. So for the next 20 minutes, I'd love to go a little deeper and show you and help you find yours. Because the threat right now, I think, is actually quite real. Now, I've obviously gone very deep down the AI rabbit hole. And when you look at the supersonic tsunami that Elon talks about, what people miss is that this wave does not just take jobs, but it also takes voices. Because right now, almost every founder and fund manager that you know is drinking from the same three models. Same prompts in, same brown paste coming out. Scroll your feed, have a look at it. Every post sounds like the same tired robot wrote it, or because it did. So Elon said it very bluntly. A company that is entirely AI will demolish a company that is not. It will not be a contest. Now hear that as a person saying it. The founder hiding behind generic AI content gets demolished by the founder who could only be themselves. And if you've heard this for the last decade and watched the timeline slip, okay, and decided to wait it out one more time, hear me, because waiting was the move that used to work. It's the one move that will just not work right now. And the cruel part of it is to see who is the most exposed. It's actually the ones who've built the most, the deepest experience in the room, hidden behind the blandest corporate compliance-approved words. Meanwhile, there is an entire economy out there trying to sell you the wrong lifeboat. Trinkets, I call them AI trinkets. Disposable apps, prompt packs, comment, Claude to get the latest thing. All you're doing is putting your name in a database, right? Apologies. Got a frog in my throat today. But the way I want you to see it, because these are disposable prompts. They're $10 fixes for multi-million-dollar problems. It's basically noise dressed up as progress. And Tony Robbins actually did really well about this. He put a clock on this whole thing. He goes 3 to 10 years. That's it. That's the window. And what most people are going to do with it is really going to make the difference. And I think this is where it gets fascinating, because most people do the most human thing in the world. They panic. And panic always reaches for more. More tools, more tabs, more subscriptions, more prompts, more quick hacks. And I understand why Tony essentially handed them the reason himself. He said, you will not be replaced by AI. You will be replaced by someone who knows how to use AI. So everyone is trying to sprint to be that someone, and they buy the whole toolbox to prove it. But here's, I think, what nobody has told people, that a tool with none of you inside it helps you just sound like everybody else, faster and automated. And more is always the reflex, but more is never the answer, because there's a sadder version of the panic as well. And Tony actually put very good numbers on it, because right now, more young men between 25 and 35 live at home, not working, than at any point in history, including the Great Depression. Close to a third of them have never asked a person on a date. They play video games all day. Their mother does the laundry. They order Uber Eats. And Tony Robbins says, now imagine that with all AI pouring in. That is the retreat. That is the quiet surrender. And it never ends nicely, by the way. And the other surrender wears a suit. Basically, the founder, buried in 50 to 80 open tabs, busy from dawn to dusk to dark to midnight, mistaking motion for movement. Tony and Elon spoke about this extensively and said a line that I can't shake, that we were never made to manage circumstances. We were made to create. Most people spend their lives managing a pile of apps. They're making a living instead of designing a life. And the answer to us was never more. It was always deeper. It's never more. It's always deeper, because we need to create our lives so that our businesses serve us, not us serving a jail sentence. So let me tell you where I think the real edge hides. And I will tell it through the man who scares everybody. Think of 17-year-old kid lands in Montreal with about $2,500 in traveler's checks, one bag of books, one bag of clothes, and no plan. That kid was Elon Musk. So years later, somebody asked him how he does what he does. Cars, rockets, satellites, AI, all of it at once, right? His answer was not genius, and his answer was this. What is trivial in one arena is a superpower in another. On a planet Krypton, he said, you would be ordinary. Bring those same gifts to Earth, and you are Superman. So sit with that for a little bit, because your edge is not being the best in the world at one thing. Your edge is the combination of things that you have lived, your 35 years, the industries you've survived, the crashes, the deal that fell apart, and the one that didn't. That is your Krypton. No model has ever lived it, and no other competitor can borrow it. So the proof of it is never on your resume. It's in the moments you would never put on a resume. So picture a fund manager, right, with 20 years in emerging market credit or, emerging market equities or whatever, right, who survived 2 sovereign defaults, who raised capital in the 2008 freeze. That combination exists nowhere else on earth. The model cannot generate it. The competitor cannot fake it. That is the edge. And that is what we are here to find. We actually have made a very good living out of that, because we want to really make that personal, because it's easy to nod along and still not believe this about yourself, because we doubt our beliefs, yet we believe our doubts. Sorry. Need more water. So the moments that I found that cost you the most are actually the moments that no one can copy. Your worst year in business is your strongest material. The thing that you're a little ashamed of, actually, is the thing that nobody else is aching to hear, right? Is the thing that somebody wants to hear. Peter Diamandis said it so well. He says that the future is not a force of nature that sweeps over you. It is designed by the people who decide to design it. You get to design who you are inside that world. And I think here's probably the deepest truth in this whole conversation. People do not buy what you do. They buy the feeling of being seen by someone who has stood right where they are standing now. That feeling has a name, and it's your signature. It's so much deeper than your moat, okay? It's so much deeper than your thing that you're doing, your business. And we've had so many clients that have been so focused on their business, their performance, their fund, their capital raise, their business, their stuff, that along the way they have just lost their identities. You know what I mean? And we have really helped so many people out of this, but I want to tell you where this came from, because it didn't start as a product or a prompt. It actually started as a problem, which was mine. Because for 35 years, I've sat in the rooms where capital moves, big money moves. And I've watched how money flows, how deals get done, how trust gets built at the very top, right? And what nobody tells you is that knowing all of that is just not enough, because I don't have an army anymore. I'm not interested in that. I don't have 100 people and a bottomless budget to throw at content and positioning and showing up everywhere as myself. Our clients don't have that either. And most people I work, I would guess you don't have that either. So we basically have this choice: stay quiet and let the wave take us, or build the leverage ourselves. And that's what we chose to do. And we chose to build it for ourselves first, and then for our consulting clients. The people who would call us at 10 o'clock at night, and I say, okay, I know who I am. I just cannot get it out of me, and I cannot get people to follow me, okay? And that's where all of these instruments that you see behind me, right? All of these instruments, that's where they came from. They were never apps that somebody dreamed up in a garage. Like if you look at our cornerstone, which is our Ignis identity extraction, that's how we pull a founder's true voice out of them. Exactly the same way that we do it, and we've done it across the table for a private client for years. So then if you look at Magnanimous, that grew out of the sport psychology that builds a mind of champions, okay? Absolute experts who have done this. We have learned it. We have applied it. We've run this 1,000 times. Our Opus Citadel is the deep dig. These are the questions that we ask when we need to find the thing that the person was put here to build, the magnum opus that sits inside of them. And then we designed the Ikigai synthesizer. That's right up here, okay? And that is where everything that you have lived and that you still want to live, and the thing that still sits inside you, to find this overlap between what you love, what you're good at, what the world actually needs, and what you can get paid. That is a bridge to really helping our clients build and construct their magnum opus so that they too can build life and business on their terms, right? And then we took our 35 years each of programs and training around those instruments, everything we know about raising capital, attracting capital, sales, stories, systems, funnels, vaults, you name it, all of it, and put it in one vault. And we really built this thing for one kind of person. And that's a person who's already built something real. Somebody who knows the game. Somebody who's actually in the second half of their life, probably, with more behind them than most people will ever had. Scar tissue that needs to be weaponized. But there's still this one thing that hasn't come out yet, their magnum opus. And guess what? That person was us initially, because one day it just stopped being only ours. We looked around at the entrepreneurs we knew and we loved, and we saw that they all needed this. Not some watered down version, the real one, the one we built for ourselves. So that's when we decided to put everything we've built, every program, every course, every event, every training, every tool, every tactic, every funnel, every piece of technology, and put it all in here inside this Magnum vault. And we've learned some incredible things along the way. And I'd like to show you today, if you're interested, to really see what that looks like once you build this into a machine. Because I have a full machine running. Our entire business is not, we don't have like some AI stuff. Our entire business is completely run by AI. Behind me right now, this is my operations fleet. Let me just refresh that, because that was a new build yesterday, and literally everything we do is run end to end by AI. The one thing it cannot do is replace us. But I now no longer need 200 people to run a little mini empire. So right at the center of this, as I said, is our Ignis identity extraction protocol. And that center is you. That center is your voice, your stories, your scars, right? That thing that wakes you up. Let me switch screens real quickly and show you that. Because that thing that wakes you up in the center, okay? That is your voice, your stories, your scars. Every tool around the edge of that reads from that center. So whatever it takes to make that come out of you is absolutely important. So from inside there, we really build your entire AI clone, your brain, your voice, your cards, your LinkedIn content, your AI identity, all of that. This is not a shortcut thing with a little prompt that you can get. This is deep experience, multi-layers to bring this gift of your life out of you. And most people are stubborn. They have they run a story in their heads and they don't want to hand over the goods. So this is a very, very deep, scientifically proven process that we have done with thousands of clients to grab that beautiful failure, all of those stories, all of that experience, all of that vision, all of those fears, all of that, bring it out of you because it builds your vault. So that's why we call it Ignis. It is the igniting engine of your identity extraction, right? And we have had people that, I don't know if there's a, no, I took that down. I mean, people have said that this step alone was an absolute game changer because from here you can really go absolutely anywhere. But without it, you just sound exactly the same. So you'll see that I've done it. All the green dots means I've actually completed it because this is absolutely live. It is encrypted. It is all run in a Firebase database in the background that is totally encrypted. We can't even read it. Only your browser can read it, right? And it has been an absolute game changer for any of our clients because if you picture somebody with 20 years of board experience, entrepreneur, has built businesses, their bios normally read like every other person in their sector, right? And we have an interesting client because she was posting, and every post that she did really could have come from 300 other people, and nobody kind of noticed. And then we did an experiment. We said, look, just trust us on this. And we ran one story of hers, one of like 40 different stories of her life through the system. And it was actually about a failure of her first fund and the one that she never wanted to speak in public. And it was basically because of a key backer walked out and she had to decide whether to close and rebuild the whole thing. But that story in her voice, in her fingerprint, became the opening of every conversation that came after that. And the people across the table kept saying the same thing. That I've never heard a fund manager say that to me before. And that is what the machine fired. Not faster content, authentic content, right? And if you can see what can happen to one story, the one thing that happened to you, one scar becomes a full week of content in your true voice, not borrowed, not generic, yours. So a competitor can clone all the tools in a weekend, but nobody clones the center because the center is the thing that's you. And Elon said one interesting thing that I think is worth holding on to. AI is not a productivity amplifier. It is an independent productivity generator. So picture that engine again, okay? In a different mindset. Let me repeat that. It is a independent productivity generator. It's not a productivity amplifier. So when you picture that with these kind of engines running in the background, now running day and night, but pointed at your one single thing, extracting from you, your signature. That is leverage that no team of 50 could ever hand you. But because you can build these AI-driven amplifiers, they have to be built on your Ignis, your engine, your true signature in the middle. And that is the thing that we've built that has been so spectacular and so incredibly valuable. Coming back to the Tony Robbins conversation, that really mattered all, because the danger in all of this was never the technology. It's the time compression. The shift that went from farms to factories took 150 years. 80% of people were farmers, and now 3% feed the entire world. 150 years literally gave families time to adapt, to retrain, to move, to all sorts of things. And this wave is now landing in 3 to 10 years. Tony had an interesting point. We need a bridge. And that's what we have built here behind us. It's essentially a bridge across the gap, built on the one thing that this wave cannot touch. And that's you, your identity in. Okay? That's why we built this. Your identity in, your magnum opus out. That's why we work with founders, entrepreneurs, business owners from all over the world. Because this is not someday, this is here. These instruments are built, these things are running. There are 12-year-olds with laptops that are outproducing entire teams of hundreds of people. The world is running. And there are members inside this vault right now. They are literally building their signatures into their everything that they ship. And today is not about some kind of pitch, because it's really about something I love. We absolutely love this work, and we love the people that we do it for. And our calendars, we've opened them up to help people, because I think that's a really worthy calling. And if you want to go a little deeper with it and book a call with us, I'll get you a link down below. It's super easy, magnumvault.com/call. Or if you want to look into the vault a little bit, go to magnumvault.com/MVP. I will put the link somewhere. I'll figure out how to do that. Send me a text, whatever. You know what I mean? We're quite approachable. The only thing I don't really do is email, but LinkedIn Messenger, Facebook Messenger, text, whatever goes, right? I'm super interested to hear from you, because we love working with entrepreneurs. And it's so interesting. We love actually working with entrepreneurs who are struggling, because that used to be us. And it's such a gift to be able to take your gifts and use them to help other people, because that's essentially become our magnum opus. It's the thing that Laura Louise and I were put here to build actually turned out to be this thing all along. It wasn't asset management. It wasn't building multi-billion-dollar fund management companies, but actually helping you build your magnum opus and then build it and ship it. So that's why I love to do these live events, because they come out and sometimes they are on replay and somebody watches it in the middle of the night and calls me the next morning and goes, Anrik, I've got this really important business and I've got this thing that's going to change the world. And I don't know how to ship it. I'm so busy building it. I don't know how to attract the capital. And in a couple of moves, I can fix it, because you see, most people, they especially in the asset management, wealth management business, venture capital, private equity, they build business A. And business A is this thing that they've built, their magic sauce, their magic thing, and they put all of their effort into that. But they don't realize that they actually have to build a second business, and that's business B, which is the thing that raises the money, that attracts the capital, the clients, the investors, the partners, right? And it's a different build. It's a different mindset. Sometimes it's different people. Sometimes it's different personalities. And it's so easy for us entrepreneurs. I mean, I see it in my daily life. I'm run by 3 C's: create, construct, communicate. If I don't do all 3 of those things, I don't eat. And I'm unhappy. just creating and constructing stuff that no one's going to use is soul destroying. I need to do these things, even though I'm an introvert. I need to get on screen, get on camera, talk about it, talk to my people. And guess what? 1,000 people will scroll by, but 6 are going to go, hey, can you jump on a call? Can you help me with this? And I'm like, yes, you've come to the right place. Or no, I can't help you. Go see this guy. He's got what you need. See what I mean? Because when you're just out there every day pushing content without your identity is really just sophisticated leverage begging. So when you build something like this, you know where your identity lives, and you can really go and create life and business on your terms. So I really want to use this opportunity, welcome you, come and talk to us, drop a note, send a DM, send a message, come to our next live event, sign up to get into the vault, because everything we do is shipped right from here, and we do everything. Okay, so let me pull aside the curtain a little bit and give you a very quick tour through the vault. So this is mine, actually, as you see. That's Anrik. This is absolutely custom. Everything in here runs. We do 3 scheduled live events every month on the first, second, and third Wednesday of the month. This is essentially our private consulting calls that we do inside the vault. It's all absolutely digital. You can attend from anywhere, drop in via Zoom. Replays are almost instantaneous, but everything runs through these. Well, there are essentially 8 critical engines. Step 1 is the Ignis protocol that I told you about. Step 2 is Magnanimous. Now, Magnanimous is really this thing that breaks you free out of your business, looks at all of the different processes that you have running, because most entrepreneurs are running in their head. Some of them are running with their heart in it. But very few have got all 3 running at the same time. That is their head, their heart, and their habits. This is the protocol that we've designed that runs phenomenally, that actually pulls that out of you. Then we have a tool that we've been using for years with our one-on-one clients, and it's essentially the ACF. This is all acronyms. ACF is your authentic character flywheel and your right fit client bullseye, because they should overlap massively. And this is a tool that we really run that will absolutely build everything for you that you need to ship all of these other parts. The Zone of Genius amplifier is an extraction process. It's almost like, do you remember that book, Good to Great? What made you good, what got you here, is not what you need in order to become spectacular and extraordinary and get you to the next destination. And most of us entrepreneurs, we've gotten very good at being good, and we do stuff. And I get it. You don't have 100 people to go and delegate to, so you end up doing everything yourself. And it is a terrible mistake, because you should be running for, I would say, 80% of your day inside your zone of genius. And when we do an audit on an entrepreneur, even people running multi-billion-dollar businesses, they're not running in their zone of genius. Okay, so that is the tool that extracts that out of us. And then from here, we go into our opus citadel. And this is a deep question to pull this magnum opus that's inside you, this thing that you haven't built yet, that sits on your heart, to pull it out of you. And doing this in person is very painful, because people bullshit you, they lie, they don't want to sit around this. AI has been a gift, because it is a very surgical interview that pulls this out of you in the best possible way. So from there, we build something called your Maven Matrix of how do you show up, because influence, trust, and the way the world sees you is absolutely critical. And then all of these tools are assembled into your Ikigai synthesizer, where we say, okay, now we've got this 3-dimensional picture of you. We have your stories, we have your vision, we have your dreams, we have your mistakes, we know who your clients are, we know your business, we know all of these things. Let us help you organize it and find that precise and lethal overlap between what you love, what you're actually good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. Because right at the center of that sits your magnum opus. Let's get that built. Let's help you ship that. And then we realized this was amazing up until this point, right? Then we realized people were still not doing the work. So we literally just added into the vault every program, every training, all of our live events, our Reap Rewards bootcamp, our Ramp Up bootcamps, our Crushing It Accelerator, all of these unbelievable tools that some people even literally paid $18,000 just for one of these events. And we're like, let's give it to you. If you want to learn something overnight, you want to talk about the resistance that keeps showing up and distracting you every day. On a Saturday morning, go watch the training. There is a very dedicated training session here. It's 1 hour version of you that helps you, exercises that really brings you out of your struggle and helps you in it, okay? I got to close some of these tabs. Boy, I mean, the tools that are in here are quite amazing. Hey, or you want to go find a particular video and you want to talk about learning how to attract capital. Here we go. Here are the best videos in our vault that you can watch on your own stream, with the exercises, with the workbooks, absolutely in it. I mean, people have paid tens of thousands of dollars for this, right? So let me go back up. So that's the programs. Then we have an entire library of all the tools, all the books, all the things that we've shipped. I mean, our books. Then we have our favorite books that have shaped our life. And we've given them to you in very extractable 10-minute versions to bring you the things that turn you into a lethal capital magnet. And from there, let me see, where should I go next? The tools. The tools that you need as an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, as somebody running a small business, that you can literally go and build and ship anything overnight. These are all the tools that I built that allow me to run a mini empire with 3 people, okay? Everything in here, from your identity extraction, LinkedIn content creators, technology that I use on a daily basis, all the tools that I've built. I mean, if I just were to run through all of these, I'd need an hour of yours. All of the infrastructure tools. I mean, literally everything that we need. The ones I use every day are up here. Our copywriter, one quick demo. You can literally say, okay, I want to talk to people. I want to create a LinkedIn post. I want to do an email. I want to do a direct message. I want to build a landing page. I want to do a sales page. I want to do a paid ad. Okay. But I don't know how to present it. So you used to have to hire a copywriter. They're about $30,000 a month for the good ones. Hey, guess what? We have all the best ones in here. All of the masters of copywriting: Ogilvy, Schwartz, Halbert, Kennedy, Sugarman, Carlton, Schwab. All of the frameworks, all the proven frameworks of copywriting: IDA, PAS, Problem, Agitate, Solve, Pastor. The psychology behind it: Robert Cialdini's 7 Principles of Influence, Blair Warren's 5 Things. I think I always have it. I always have it handy. Okay. Blair Warren said the smartest thing I ever heard: people will do anything for those who encourage their dreams, justify their failures, allay their fears, confirm their suspicions, and number 5, my favorite, throw rocks at their common enemies. That is a tool that is built in here. So it's looking at what you wrote and says, I need to find his voice. I've got his voice. I've got his details. I know what he's got. But what is the best way for me to present it? It is an outstanding hook writer. And then it runs through the AI, essentially language watch list, pillar number 4, the voice discipline, because LinkedIn, Facebook basically have algorithms that throttle posts that smell like they were machine generated, okay? And then pillar number 5, it runs through all of our training. our methodology that we have taught over 20 years, right? All of our frameworks, our S3 formula, which is strategy plus story plus systems equals success. So it looks at what you wrote and says, okay, we need to find the right frame for this. Have we actually covered the person's authentic character flywheel? Okay. How are people running? Is this actually talking to your right fit client around the dining room table? Because your dining room table has 10 seats, 8 seats. Who are those people at the table? Let's talk to them, right? And it runs through all of this and takes what it used to be generic AI output and writes it in your voice for your client to land on his desk in the right way, using human psychology that influences for that person to take action in a proper storytelling format, because we tell stories so that people feel something, so that they will do something, not for nefarious means, so that we can help them. This thing does the whole thing for you and runs the copywriter. And from there, you can run it through a humanizer, which makes it more human sounding, and instantly go to a post formatter that formats the thing for LinkedIn. So if you look at my last 50, 100 posts, they have all run through this without adult supervision, okay? That doesn't make them unreal. That doesn't make them not valuable. It makes them authentically me, just developed in a really great way. So all of these tools, I mean, literally every day we're improving or adding to some of these. I mean, the workbench at the moment, if you see what I'm running here right now, is a webinar toolkit. I'm a big fan of Russell Brunson and his perfect webinar. Well, guess what? We have this massive database of our clients, all encrypted. We can't read it, but the webinar agent can read it and build you the perfect Russell Brunson webinar. Fantastic hook leads to a big domino. Secret number 1, secret number 2, secret number 3, earn the right to actually present the solution to you, and then in the proper offer stack way, bring you in and help you, help me, help you, help me. You know that movie scene and how it ends. So anyway, this is a very, very small show and tell of what we've got going inside the MVP. And I really hope that you will come and talk to us, book a call. Best way to book a call, I think, is I'm going to do this manually, the old school way, and just type it. Let me grab the right keyboard, because that's a occupational hazard in the studio. You just go to magnumvault.com/call. We've made it super easy. You can pick who you'd like a call with. You can even send a video message. You can use our AI bot, who's been trained on all of our work, okay? And book a call with Andrik, book a call with Laura Louise, get some frameworks, or if you like to find out more about the Vault, magnumvault.com/MVP. And it's literally in there, up there, and do it. Now, everyone is expecting a $40,000, $50,000 a year membership. And we're like, no, let's not do that. I mean, our mastermind alone is $48,000 a year, right? Everything we do has gone inside the Vault, and we decided let price not be an obstacle. So we just literally said, let's drop it for the founders. I know we're building this thing. As you can see, it's pretty built. And we're going to be closing those founders offers. I don't know when, basically when the seats fill up, I suppose, at 10% of what we should charge for it. And then on top of that, let's add a monthly version so that cash flow is never a reason to get in the way for why you should not be shipping, building your magnum opus, and getting ahead of everyone in this AI race, because it's coming. That wave, as Elon says, it is a supersonic tsunami, and it is coming for us rapidly. And if you don't find a way to build a moat around yourself to really develop your signature move and then expand that using AI, I think it's going to replace you. and you're just going to be very, very unhappy about it. So open invitation, come and talk to us. Let's see if we can help you. It is certainly an absolute passion of mine and Laura Louise's, and we cannot wait to meet you. Jump on board and get in here. We will help you ship this thing, and it has been an absolute privilege talking to you guys again. And we do this live every Thursday morning. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's Laura Louise, sometimes it's the both of us. We will be traveling through, be in Europe for the rest of June. So it might be from our phones on the back of a boat. Who knows? But it's really an absolute privilege. So I think that's it over and out from me. I said that we would run for 45 minutes today, and we're at 46. So drop a note in there, grab the links down. I'll put them in the comments. I know I should have done that in advance, but there's only one of me here today. So therefore, God bless you, over and out. See you guys next week. That will be really, really nice. Okay, bye.